Today I'm excited to do a deep plum smoky look using our Mud Case palette. Okay, so just to tell you a little bit about the Mud Case palette, it's a palette specifically packed for the South African market, from the lighter skin tones to the darker skin tones. It's eye colors chosen to be versatile enough to work on all the different skin colors. Okay. We all know that browns and plums are your most commonly used colors and also the most complementary colors for most eye colors. So I tried to put a palette together. It was difficult if you had to do it with only 4 colors, but I tried to put a palette together that would work on all of the skin tones and specifically also a brown and a plum color. So, so this is the 4-hole palette. On the inside, if you see this color closely, this would be the 4 colors that I'm going to use today to do the deep plum smoky eye. So if we do a brown look, you would use this color here, which is called honeysuckle. Then you go for your transition color. This one is called Galaxy. And then you would go for your semi-sweet, your darker one. So you can do a natural day with this one. And with a semi-sweet one, you can actually build that one up to a beautiful evening look if you want to go with a brown. If you want to do a plum look, you start with honeysuckle again. You go for Galaxy as your transition color again. And then Velvetine in here, that would be your color that you would use for your plum selection. Now, the reason why we chose Galaxy as our transition color is because Galaxy is a brown, but it has a slight pinky purplish tinge to it. So that's why it will work beautifully both for the brown look and for the plum look. Okay. So this palette we specifically made. Mud in America assisted me with this. They obviously did all the branding and the marketing part of it. And this palette we sell in South Africa, and 100% of the profit of this palette we physically donate to charity. Okay, so especially now in COVID, that's why I want to focus on this one a lot, because I want to assist with food parcels for people. Okay, so just to let you know what I'm going to be doing today. Normally, for those who have joined us before, I normally sit here with my pink red face before foundation. But we've decided, me and Marina, that you guys have seen me through the foundation and the corrective process. So I've basically done my foundation, and I've done it with powder, and I did a little bit of a lip liner. So today we'll be focused purely on an eye application. So with this Mud Case palette, I will start with exactly with the same palette and the same colors. I will do a natural look for you. I'm going to do a natural brown on the one side and a natural plum on the other side. And immediately after showing you that this palette is perfect for a natural day brown, a natural day plum, then I'm going to build this up into that deep plum smoky look, similar to the one that you saw on the advert. Okay, so I'm going to start just with telling you with what I've done before. Obviously, we all know you always start with your face primer. So I've used the face primer on my skin. I physically, again, as I always do, I physically put it on my fingertips and I just pat it over my skin everywhere. Okay? You normally leave it about 2 minutes on before you go in with your foundation. And the reason for that is you don't want there to be too much product on the surface of your skin, and then going in with a foundation, it will just slip and slide around. It won't properly grip the skin, and that's why it won't last that long. Okay, so I then continued with my cream foundation. You all know the cream foundation, so I physically applied that with my makeup wedge, as I always do. And then I actually today I used the dual finish pressed powder. I used this one wedge, the back side of the wedge. I picked it up like this, and I just set it like that. Okay, so that's what I did today. Um, okay, so now my skin is prepped and I'm going to start with the eye application. Again, like I always say, I like to start with eyebrows first because that creates my entire frame for the application that's going to go in again, I'm just going to say for those who haven't been here, the most easiest ones is the line between your nose, inner corner of the eye and brow. The second line is on the side of your iris. And the third one is the outer corner of your eye. That is the basic lines of measurements for eyebrows. If you want to go in a little bit more technical, after you've done those three lines, the next step is the two bottoms of your bases should be exactly in line. The two tails at the end of your brows should be exactly in line. The two under arch, bases should be exactly in line, and the two top arches should be exactly in line. Okay, so if you don't have someone to help you shape your brow, those are guidelines. Okay, so I'm going to do this, filling it in now. As you can see, I'm just going slightly quick. This side as well, base, following the color to the under arch and then downwards to the tail. Okay, when I've done that line, I'm going to the top again. Focusing on the arch and down. So those are my two lines, and obviously now I just color in a little bit. You don't have to do too much because you are going to comb it through with your spoolie in a minute. So that's that one colored in. This one, finish it off. Okay. I'm not going to do too much with my brows at this moment because I'm first starting off with a more natural look, and then afterwards I'm going to build it into the deep plum smoky eye. Okay, so after you've placed, whether you used your pencil or whether you used pigment, you're going to use a brush and you're just going to comb through the product. Just to make it slightly softer, especially going in for the day look first. Okay, now I'm going to start with a flat brush. I think this is the 300. So that's the front, that's the side of the brush. And with this brush, I would be picking up very little. When you do it for day, you pick up very little. I will be picking up the honeysuckle, that one. Okay, so you pick it up on the brush and physically just focus with that first under the arch of the brow, not too much. As you can see there, it's a beautiful shimmer color, but because we're doing day, we're not going to go too much. Going on that side, again, only focusing under the arch area of the brow, not too much. So you can see that color. Okay, and then you can just use the same brush and you can just swoop that color just to blend it through a little bit more and to make that application there slightly softer. Okay, so after you've done that, cool, now I'm going to go in with my blending brush, which is like a little loose fluffy type of one. I'm going to go in for Galaxy, and this will be my transition color. which if you look at yourself straight in the mirror, that transition color when your eyes are open should be slightly above the lid area. So it's not a crease color like in the crease, it's slightly above. Okay, so I'm picking up my Galaxy color on my fluffy brush, and where I place it, so I'm just going to show you all the way there. So the thing here is you basically follow the shape of your eyebrow. So you start in the bottom corner. Remember, we don't want to go beyond that line. So you don't want to go beyond that line, otherwise you're going to make your eyes droop. So you start there. It's a very soft application because we're starting with the day first. You put it there and you just blend it into the color that you applied first, which was the honeysuckle one. Okay? So you make sure that it's very soft and blended. So you have different ways of blending, whichever is more comfortable. I prefer this one. Other people normally blend in small circular motions. When you blend, just always make sure that you only blend on the application that you applied. Otherwise, if you blend too big, you're going to take the color too high to the eyebrow. Also, normally for day makeup, you don't want to blend too big so it goes over your entire lid, unless if that's a look that you're going for. If you want to keep your lid clean, make sure you only blend where you applied. Okay, other side. Again, make sure you get it in the corner there. That's your starting point. Okay, and follow the shape of your eyebrow. Wherever your brow goes up, you go up. Where it goes down, you go down. So that would be your points. Okay, so put it in. So you can see for both the plum and the brown look, because I'm going to do two different eyes in the beginning. You do the honeysuckle and then you do the galaxy as your transition color. Okay, let me just see if this is balanced. So that's a very light application. So now I'm going to go with my, this is called like a little smudging brush. It's the 810 brush of mud. You can see it's nice and firm. And with this one, I'm going to pick up now the darker colors, which will go on the outer corner. So on the one side, it's going to be the dark brown, and on the other side, it's going to be the plum one. Okay. So let's start with the brown on the one eye. And this one, obviously, we focus mainly on the outer side of the eye. So you physically put it in if you want to see where there. Okay, so that's your starting point. And you physically just build that color almost in a shape of a V or a little C. See that? Obviously, it's not blended yet, so it's not finished, but you can get the idea. So that will, when you finish blending this one is the one that would go in as your crease color. Cleaning off the brush, now I'm going to use the plum on the other side. The plum color is called Velvetine. It's matte. The dark brown color in here, it's also a matte. So again, the starting point, you would place your color there. There's the plum color. And you do the same thing. You physically just build it into the shape of a C or a V. Normally for day makeup, a little C that sculpts around your eyeball is quite beautiful. Okay, so there is my plum one. And the intensity of the color all depends on how much makeup you want for the day. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in again. Okay, so that's just placing the two colors. So what do we have to do now next? Is always we're going to blend it. So I'm going to go in with my brush that I used to apply the Galaxy, the transition color. I'm going to use that same brush with no other added pigment on it, and I'm just going to blend that color in. Now, which is very important, now you don't want to take your crease color and completely blend it away, and you don't want to take that crease color and blend it all over through the previous color, your transition color. Otherwise, it's just going to look like one application. So you're just going to blend it slightly. This one you focus a little bit. You just basically soften the edges. Okay, so that would be like a blended one, the brown. And now I'm going to blend the plum side, the velvetine side. Okay, so that's the two different looks basically. So I'm not going to finish the entire day look now. So to finish this as day look, the plum side and the brown side would be to use eyeliner and then mascara. Some people, let's quickly do this because some people love to use drop shadow in the day as well. So for me, if you wanted to do a very soft drop shadow, you would go in with your Galaxy one. Galaxy is the medium brown one that we used as the transition color. I'm using the 410 flat brush of mine. Okay, so it's a flat one. I will pick up my Galaxy, and a drop shadow is physically done by placing that color through your hairline on the bottom lid. You're just putting the color there. You see the difference between the two eyes, one having the drop shadow and the other one that doesn't. So that's a soft application for drop shadow, very soft and natural. It's using the Galaxy. Okay. If, however, you want to go darker, then on the side where you did the plum, you would pick up the velvetine again, the plum color, and you would do the drop shadow on the bottom corner. On the side where you did the brown, the outer corner there, you would pick up the semi-sweet color, that's brown, and you would do it at the bottom there. This all depends on how much makeup you normally wear for day and so forth. Okay. So this is where I'm going to leave the eye application for day makeup after you've done your drop shadow. For those who wear eyeliner in the day, you don't have to wear eyeliner top and bottom. You might only want to do top and then finish off with mascara. For those who like eyeliner, you can do top and bottom and then finish off with mascara. So this is literally a 5-minute, especially if you trained with your brushes and you have it. It's physically like a 5-minute application for day. 3 colors only: base color, transition color, and your accent color on the outer corner. And the same thing you do at the bottom. So I'm also going to show, for those who like shimmer, you could also take the same honeysuckle. Honeysuckle is the light one that I started off with under the brow. You could use the honeysuckle if you like shimmer, and you could place it on the inner corner of the eye for that little bit of shimmer, should you want to. Okay. It's not, you don't need to do that for the day, but if you want to. Okay, so now we're going to take this to evening look. A deep plum smoky eye. It's also beautiful for certain photo shoots, matric farewell, dances, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to build on all of this color. So I'm going to go with my Galaxy again. This is the transition color, the light brown in the palette. I'm going to pick it up again with the same brush, And I'm just going to deepen all my colors because I'm going for a deep plum smoky, okay? So again, you place it there and you just do your transition color. It's not a crease color, it's slightly above the crease area. Where you stop all depends on how much space you have to go from your lid to where your brow begins. Okay, so let me do the other side. If anyone has questions during the session, I'm not sure if you're able to type it. There's a chat option there. If you type it, I'll keep a lookout for that, then I can answer your questions. Okay, so I've done that with my Galaxy. I make sure a smoky eye is not a very hard lined look. A smoky eye is all about, it has to look smoky. So the one color has to flow into the next color and flow into the next color. So you have to make sure that your transition color there does not have a hard edge. It has to be blended in beautifully into your previous color. Okay. I'm also going to use my flat brush again, and I'm just going to add a little bit more of the honeysuckle under my brow because this is a more darker look, possibly even an evening look. So you can see honeysuckle on that side versus the other side. Okay. And for those, if you don't like a lot of shimmer, you can matte it down a little bit with your powder. Okay, so I'm just blending my edge out a little bit more. So that's Galaxy. I'm going to go in again, this time with a slightly thicker brush, not my flat one. And I'm going to just make my drop shadow under the eye. I'm going to make it slightly thicker because we're going for a smoky look. So again, this is the Galaxy color, the same color as the transition one. Okay. I'm sure you can see the colors there. Okay, that one is still the plum side. This one is the brown side, but I'm sure you can see the honeysuckle that I've built up and the transition color being Galaxy that I've built up. Okay. So now we're going to go making this plum. Now the Velvetine in this kit, uh, the Velvetine in this kit, if you just use it as is, for some people it can be too purple. So then you need to obviously, you need to make it deeper. So that's why when I'm going to do that deep plum color, I'm going to use my semi-sweet, the dark brown. I'm going to use that one in my crease first. And I'm going to go with the Velvetine over that. That will deepen the plum color. It won't be looking pink purple. It will deepen the plum. So I'm going to do that. Now, normally, I'm sure all of you know, as makeup artists, whenever we do a darker application eye, we normally do eyes first. And then after we've done the eyes, we clean up around the eyes, and then we go in with foundation. I know old school makeup, they normally trained us, you do your foundation, your powder, your correcting, and all of that. And then you put, they call it like a powder layer, like they call it a catch net. You put your catch net under the eye, and then you do the eyeshadow. So if you have any pigment fallout, especially when you use blacks or blues or you do a smoky eye, then it won't mess up your foundation. So bear with me with this. I'm going to have to do a catch net now, just for in case. I normally don't do it this way. I always do eyes first, but because we illustrate the normal day, so I'm just going to put a catch net just on the outer corner especially. Okay. It's not ideal for this type of look. I would have preferred doing eyes first because too much powder under the eyes, we all know what happens. You look drier, You look older, it accentuates the lines, but there's certain things we can do afterwards to obviously to trick this again. Okay, so let's start with the intensifying of the color. If I can get my smudging brush, cool. This is the 810 smudger brush. I'm going to pick up the semi-sweet first. And what I'm going to do now, remember this color, Galaxy was the transition, the one that goes slightly higher. This one is supposed to be the crease color, but this time I'm not going to stay just on the outer corner. I'm physically going to take it all the way in so it can give me that beautiful smoky. Okay. You need to look at the person's eye before you decide to do a certain look. Again, we look at things like eye shapes and facial shapes as a professional artist. If you have close set eyes, going all the way to the inner corner will draw the eyes closer. So keep all of those things in mind, theory behind your application. Okay, so I'm going to start with a semi-sweet. Exactly what we did before, you place the color on the outer corner, but now I'm going to take the color all the way in. And if you can see where I'm focusing this color would basically be in the crease area. So there's the one. As you can see, I'm building it quite dark now. I'm going to go to the other side, the one where I did the plum, because we're going to finish off having exactly the same look in the end on both eyes. Okay, so that's just placing the semi-sweet color, and it's quite harsh. Leanne is asking, what brush am I using for this color? This is the mud brush. Where's my thing? This is the mud brush, the 810. It's the smudger brush. Okay. It places color beautifully. There is physically not even a drop fallout on my cheeks. Okay, but now I'm going to go for a fluffy brush. And what I'm going to do now is, again, it's a smoky eye. I'm going to soften it, so I'm going to blend it. So you physically go again, depending on which way you prefer to blend. You can either do the wiping one, or you can do the small circles. But whatever you focus on the edges. Wherever you place the product, whether it be there, where your brown color finished there, or whether it's be there, where your brown color finished in the transition color. You physically make sure just to blend out that edges. If you can see the difference between the two. Okay? Blending out the other side. Right. So that's the brown color. So as you can see, I went quite dark with this. I don't know if you can see it, because on the screen it looks way lighter than what it is when I look at the mirror. Okay. So now I'm going to go with the same color as a drop shadow under the eye. The same dark semi-sweet color. Under the eye. Shake it up. Okay. Other side. You go over the, wherever you place the galaxy, when we did it for the day look earlier, you just go over that. Okay. So it's difficult to see with the powder underneath, but that's the darker color. Okay, so now I'm going to go in because the look that we're doing is a deep plum smoky. So now I'm going to go in with a velvetine over the brown. The brown was only a base color to deepen the shade. And for those of you who don't know the matte colors, our semi-sweet, that's the dark chocolate brown color. It doesn't have a red undertone. That's our espresso. The semi-sweet one almost has like a plum purple undertone in the brown. So that's why that's a perfect one to do for this deep plum. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up the velvetine color, and I'm physically going to do the same thing than what I've just did with the semi-sweet. I'm just going to go over the same thing. Okay. And with this plum color, where I only stopped with the brown one on the outer corner, with this plum color, I'm going to go over the entire lid to the inside. Okay. Okay. Can you see the plum color coming through? I hope you can see that it's plum and not brown anymore. Okay. We do the same on the other side. You go over the area where you applied the semi-sweet. You make sure you also take it over the edge there on the top, the outer corner. But now you're also going to color in the lid. You don't keep you can see there, this side is obviously darker. You color in the top lid. Okay, that's the lid. This was just me going back to my flat color, my flat brush. Okay, same thing. I'm just placing and building the color. So this is very important. You're just building the color until you're happy with a plum. Okay, so that's the plum, but we don't want this to look like raccoon eyes. So what do we always do? We're going to blend, blend, blend. Okay. Before I blend on the top, I'm going to go in what we did at the bottom is plum on the bottom, drop shadow. Okay. Can everyone see the plumness there? Okay. Now again, you use the brush with no product on there, your fluffy one, and you will just soften this plumness. You will just blend it out a bit. Because this looks quite scary. It's almost like, can't remember that movie, Adam's Family. Now, if you feel that the color doesn't blend easy, or maybe you went too dark, remember you can always go back with your previous colors, whether it be the honeysuckle there, or it could be the galaxy, the transition color. And you can actually use those colors to soften your edges as well. One thing I like, whenever people normally apply a smoky look, they normally tend, obviously, you're not just going to go darker in the eye. Normally, when you do a type of a smoky eye like this, people normally, you can take out the eye slightly more. So you're never going to go down with the eyeshadow, but you extend the eyes, especially if you have close set eyes. You need to create the illusion of width by applying your color slightly wider. And something that's going to help that so it doesn't look funny is by drawing your eyebrows slightly wider as well, by adding lashes, especially longer ones on the outer corner and going shorter to the inner side. You're going to pull your eyes out with that. And obviously the use of a liquid line, if your eyes permit. You could use also the liquid line going out slightly wider. Okay. So what I want to do now is, this is extremely plum. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go for my eyeliner. So because I'm doing a deep plum color, I'm going to use a black eyeliner on the top lid, and I'm going to use it on the bottom lid. I'm also going to use it inside of my waterline, and then I'm going to set it in my waterline as well. And when I've finished with that, and if the black pencil doesn't stand out strong enough, then I'm going to go over my black pencil with my cake liner. Cake liner, which is, for those who don't know mud, it's a water-activated liquid liner. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start with my black liner. I'm going to try to come as close as possible. Again, normally for day makeup, what I normally tell people is your eyeliner should also only cover the outer 2/3 of your eye. The inner corner of your eye should always be slightly lighter, and the eyeliner should disappear in the hairline. Similar with the bottom lid. But because it's a dark, deep plum smoky eye, you could take this eyeliner all the way to the inner corner, top, as well as bottom. So I'm going to do that because I haven't done it before, okay, with this tutorials. Okay. Okay. There's the eyeliner, but I don't want to keep it as a solid eyeliner. So before that line dries out on my lid, this is where I would take a stiff brush, if I can find it, yes, a little stiff brush like this, and I would go in. I would even pick up, if you can see what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up the pencil even on my brush. Now I'm going to go that line that I did there, I'm going to smoke it out. Okay. So just soften it out, the line, make the line softer, but obviously the whole eye application, the look goes darker. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. I always give a slight lift on the outer corner. If you have to look at how it's done, it's a slight angle downwards. Okay, and again, before the pencil dries and completely sets on the skin, take the brush with the pencil on and smoke out that line. Blend it out, soften at the edges. It will soften the line, but your entire application will look darker. So I'm going to do, now I'm going to go in with a bottom eyeliner. First, I'm going to do the bottom eyeliner on the skin. It's physically on the dry skin between the lashes. I'm going to do that first and smoke it out as well. And then I'm going to go in the waterline. Okay. Okay. So that's the black eyeliner in the on the bottom. Do the same thing. I'm picking up on the brush and I'm just smoking out or softening that line. We have so many clients coming to us at the Santon studio. They're coming in with a picture of they want to have a smoky eye, but then they also that wing liner. So you could do both for them if the eyes permit, but keep in mind it's two total different looks. So if you really want to do a smoky eye, like everything should be like blurry and smoky on the lid. At the bottom, that's the situation. Now I'm going to go in on the waterline, as I said. Can you hear me, Marina? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Because I just had a notification that said my internet is unstable, so I was worried it's the same story. Okay.
No, not at all. You're perfect on this side.
Okay. So in the waterline, you're physically going to just pull your eye down slightly. You can see your skin there, so you just color in. It's difficult if I have to go to the side. Okay. And how will we set this black pencil in the waterline? Sorry, ladies, and I don't even have blue. Okay, so how to set this pencil in the waterline is by actually using a black eyeshadow with a stiff brush, the same one that you used to smudge out your liner with. So you pick up your black pigment, and the same thing, you're just going to pull your eyelid down a little bit, and you're just going to place the pigment wherever you applied the liner. Okay, that should give you the idea of the eye looking now obviously way darker. I'm going to show you when I'm completely done. I'm going to show you how you can also take this eye, because I've stayed now exactly between this line with my application. So I'm going to show you, especially if the mascara is on, how this application that's there could actually go slightly like that. Not all the way down, but just slightly out. Okay. So if the plum is on, I'm just going to touch up on my honeysuckle because I blended a little bit over that area. So honeysuckle there, honeysuckle there. Okay. So now you also saw on the image, because it's like an evening look, I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer, loose shimmer, on the ball of my eye. And to do this, we all know that a loose shimmer, let me just get the color for you. So this beautiful loose shimmer, it's loose pigment. So obviously it can fall, it falls down, it drops onto your lashes and so forth. So I'm just going to use the following. And this is very easy. It's not a cut crease. Remember, it's basically the same principle as a cut crease. You know how you do a cut crease is you're putting the cream product on the lid, but that goes all the way from the inner corner. So cream product on the lid, and then immediately you set it with like a lighter and a shimmery eyeshadow. So I'm not going to do a cut crease because this is not a cut crease look. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my blue corrector, a cream, as almost like as a binding, like a binder for my loose pigment shimmer that I'm going to put on now. You do this very lightly. So I physically just pick up a little bit on my ring finger. Okay. I'm going to just put my pot close. You physically just put it on the bowl wherever you want your shimmer. It's just to have a little bit of tackiness on the lid. And immediately while that tackiness of the corrector is still there, you can pick up your pigment. You can do it with a brush or you can do it with your finger. And you physically just go in and you just put the shimmer there. Okay, that's obviously before it's blended. Okay, so you put the shimmer. And what would happen now is that corrector, obviously it's on the skin, it is now gripped it, and it will keep this pigment on your eye. Okay, and then now that color is there. So what do we always do? When does the makeup competition stop? It's for today. So after we finished with the tutorial today, you must send the photos to Marina. Let's make it 5 o'clock. You send it to Marina, and then we will choose the winner, and Marina will notify everyone, and we will put it on social media also who the winner is. We won't post your photo if you don't want to, but we'll notify on social media. Okay, so now you use the brush, and that shimmer that you applied, you don't just want to keep it like that. You physically just blend out, always focusing on the edges. Be careful not to blend out the entire application. Okay, now you go to the other side. Physically put your tacky layer there. This is the mud, it's a blue corrector, so you physically use this blue corrector under the eyes for blue circles or dark circles. But I like this one because it has beeswax in, so it's quite stiff and sticky, so the product won't move. And you physically pick up your shimmer and you pop it onto that sticky tacky area that you've just applied. And you can blend out with a brush, or you can physically blend out the edges just with your finger like that. And again, the shimmer you can do for how light or how dark you want. It depends on how much shimmer you like. Now we use again the honeysuckle, the light color, and you can use on the inner corner of the eye. You can obviously pop that in there a little bit if you want a lighter look. You don't have to do the light in the corner. If you really wanted to have like a dark smoky eye, you could have taken this dark all the way in, black eyeliner also all the way in. If you like the light there, maybe just to go with your under the arch and there, you can do that. One thing that you also have to do, you don't want to make it look like your shimmer is like sitting on the lid. You will physically use the plum color and just go slightly over just to blend it in again. Someone is asking, what is the name of this shimmer? Mud doesn't manufacture loose pigment shimmers. This is actually from Smink, and the color is rose gold. Okay, so it's a Smink sparkle dust. It's a loose pigment, and the name is rose gold. Okay, so again, like I said, I'm just going to go in and all around where I placed the shimmer now, I'm just going to go in and soften the edges with my plum color. Okay, so can everyone see this? I hope you can see it nicely because in my mirror here, it's so gorgeous. But in my screen, it doesn't look so plum and the shimmer doesn't look so nice. Okay, so the next step is mascara. Lashes, if you have lashes, because the darker and the more dramatic the eye is, obviously your lashes also needs to go with that. So I did a little bit of cluster lashes before we started. So mascara, I'm using the okay, yeah, let me just show you the mud one, which is amazing. It's in a tube. The fact that it's in a tube is we normally decant it on a mixing palette. So it's like toothpaste which you push out, you decant it, so there's no way of cross contamination. Mud is very hectic about that. That's why this whole COVID thing for us is not even it's not even going to be difficult for us to adapt when we go back to the studios. Okay, so lashes, you obviously you apply 2 to 3 layers. If you want this look to work out as it should. And one thing that I always say to everyone, it doesn't help you only put on the mascara on the lashes, the ends of the lashes. You should physically start from the bottom or from the root and you zigzag the product through the lashes. The moment when you put it through the lashes, what would happen is you leave product in between the lashes and it automatically looks thicker. So let me do the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean up this powder under my eye. And I'm going to use the same, I'll finish the mascara later. I actually like it to be more thicker than this. But I'm going to use the same palette. I'm going to use the honeysuckle color. I'm going to use this today as a highlighter on my skin. Okay, so let me clean up under my eyes. I have to use a loose fluffy brush and you physically now just wipe away the loose powder. Okay, so one thing I'm sure we've all seen these, the tutorials that people do when they do this full makeup and they did all this baking. And after taking the baking off, obviously the skin is like dull, a little bit dry, a little bit. Then they take setting spray and things afterwards just to bring the moisture back. So you can do that, but one thing that I found that I prefer more is physically taking my wedge and dampening the wedge, not completely wet, but you just dampen the wedge. And and then with a damp wedge over this, because there was a lot of powder under my eyes, which I normally don't do. With that damp wedge, you don't wipe or rub, you physically pat it like this, the damp wedge, all over. So I'll do that in the end, because that way you will see how the natural radiance of your skin just automatically comes back. Okay, so I had a question here from someone asking, what color lip would you do normally with the deep plum eyeshadow? So I'm going to do a nude lip using our Sandy Beach lipstick. Now, Sandy Beach, let me just quickly show you the color. Sandy Beach is physically, that's the color. You can't even see it basically on my skin. It looks like foundation. It's extremely nude. So I'm going to do that over a natural lip liner, because it also depends on the skin tone that you have. You could go with like a light pinky color for that. I normally like our rose clay color, which is a nude but with a pink mauve undertone in it. I wouldn't go too dark with this, because this is already a lot of drama here. And if you're going to put a dark lip as well, then I think it's just going to be competing too much. Okay, so I've taken off all the powder under my eyes as much as I can. So now I'm going to do contour quickly. So contour, I'm just using my gingerbread bronzer, and I'm using a blusher brush. We've done this contouring also before. Um, I don't like a hard contour line. That's why I'm using a thick, loose, fluffy blusher brush. You can, if you like a hard contour line, you can go with something which obviously is a lot more stiff than this one. Okay, so those are for the people that they love that solid, strong contour line. I don't like that. So that's why I prefer to go with this one. So let me just quickly do that. The idea is just to show you. So contouring, just to recap again, everyone has heard me saying that. Contouring is to recede. So anything that you want to push back or hide, you use a contour color, which should normally be a matte color, and it should obviously also be a darker color than your skin tone. Okay, so you can see I sort of go over my ear because I want to balance that out. And where I place it, I go slightly higher with it to the temple, because I want to have that illusion of height. So it can take away the roundness of my face. Okay? And again, you contour under your cheekbone. This is where you contour. And because we want to have a balance of the contour, you are physically going to take the same brush and you're just going to go in the hairline. If you have a very tall forehead or long forehead, you can do proper contouring with a product. Okay? But if it's just to balance the color over your face, because you don't want to sit with two brown lines on the side, you just go around there. I have double chin, so I normally take it just around here. If my neck is much lighter than my face or the rest of my shoulders, which normally happens because the chin is in the way of the sun. So this area there is always very light. I just balance it out. And if I wear my hair up, or if you have short hair, you would also just balance out this color. I normally go just one sweep behind the ear. And the reason why I do that, imagine how white, and I have a pinky color. Imagine how white and pink it looks here. So when people see me from the side, it looks completely different to what it looks here. So I do that, not to apply makeup there, but just to give a swoop of color, just to balance it out. Okay. Pietro is asking, will mudslide work with this look, or is it too dark? Mudslide will look beautiful, but I wouldn't apply a lip liner underneath. If you're familiar with the matte products, I think you've seen that our pencils are very dark. So putting on a dark pencil and then a dark color, it will be too dark. But much light would be beautiful. Okay. So this is the contouring I've done on my cheeks. I always tell everyone I normally do everything slightly darker because I want people to be able to see where it's actually placed. Now I'm going in with the honeysuckle, okay, which is an eyeshadow, but I'm going to use honeysuckle now as a highlighter. I normally use luster, but I'm going to pick up. Make sure you only pick up the luster, not the other browns or plums next to it. And physically, where do we put highlighter? Highlighter is now used to emphasize. So if you want to emphasize something, that's where you place it. You don't place highlighter on anything that you don't want to be visible. So if you have crow's feet around your eyes, don't place the highlighter on that because you will draw attention to that. Some people like to put normally highlighter, in a round shape above here. If you have deep lines between your eyes, don't place it there. Okay. I have a very long nose, so I don't want to. Most people obviously put it down the center of the nose. I don't want to do that because my nose is already very narrow and long, so I'm not doing it there. But because I have a round moon face, my face is round, I contour to obviously try to get a more sculpted effect. So that's why I'm going to place my highlighter, not close to the wrinkles around my eyes, but around. You can see I'm even going slightly up. Why am I going there up? Because this highlighter color there, what it will do now is it will draw attention to the top part of the eye. So it gives you a natural lift as well. Oh, I'm using the wrong brush. The 510 fan brush. Mine is a little bit moog at this moment. Okay, so you're picking it up on the 510 and there you go. And that's your highlighter there. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Okay, you don't, again, as with anything, you don't have to be heavy-handed with makeup if you don't like a lot of makeup. You can control how deep and how dark the color is and how much and how much product you want to apply. Okay, so that's the highlighter, that's the contour. I normally use with my normal highlighter, I normally like to go with a highlighter here as well. And the reason why I do that is because I've contoured there, so that will obviously push back in. This color here, the light one now, this will again pull out. So it just emphasizes the contour that I've placed there slightly more. Okay, so if you want to do blush with this look, you're more than welcome. I normally do because my face is very pale, and with a very dark plum eye like this, I just want to add some color on my face. And the one that I love, my ultimate favorite, I use it with any color, is Glow. And this you place on the apple of the cheek. You place it on the apple of the cheek. And this for me is the last color I use. And where you end it off there, at the end is you place it on the apple. If you smile, that should be your placement. But you normally push it in between the contour and the highlighter. This should connect the two colors in a way. Okay, so again, the same thing. We don't want to have a brown and a light stripes on your face. It needs to look blended. And again, you can take the same blusher color and you can just balance out the color tone with this color. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to use my Sandy Beach lipstick with my natural lip liner, which I have already placed up a little bit. Leanne is asking if I'm still going to show the extended eye. Yes, I just want to finish the whole look, and then I'm going to take the color slightly wider. Okay, so this is the natural lip liner of that, which it's like brownish almost, nude brown. But then I go in with the Sandy Beach, which is nude like that. And mixing the two colors together will make a beautiful nude lip for this. Okay. Okay, so that's the nude color. So again, the nudeness depends on if you like that white nude type of color, you use more of the lipstick. If you like the nude to be more brown nude, you obviously apply your lip liner darker. Okay, so again, you can control everything at the end. So I'm going to leave the lips there and I'm going to just extend the eyes a little bit wider. I think Leanne wants to see that. So just for that, just going to just on the outer side just do this again. So I'm going to look 20 years older after this. I'm going to use my smudge brush, the 810 smudge brush. I'm going to pick up my Velvetine, the Plum one. I'm just going to place the color on the outer corner again, almost basically on the same spot, because it's not about the placement that's going to pull it out as much. It's physically blending this new one out that's going to take it out. Okay. And be very careful that when you do this, don't take the color down. Okay. So after this smudging brush, sorry ladies, my nose is killing me today. After this smudging brush, I'm going to back to my fluffy blending brush. And now I'm just going to blend the color slightly up. But can you see I'm blending the color more towards the outside? I'm going to show you now. I don't know if you can see that extending the line versus this one. It's not blended yet. Can you see how that color has moved all the way to the out? So when you look at me, for example, now, it would look like the purple is too far out because it's even beyond my lash, and I actually applied some cluster lashes. But when I'm going to fill it up properly with mascara, then it's going to look normal. Okay? When you extend your eye out on the top, you have to do the same thing at the bottom. You always have to do that. So physically, the same thing. Now I'm going in with my smudger with Velvetine, not the 410 flat one anymore. And under the eye, I'm physically connecting the plum on the top with the plum at the bottom. I hope you can see. Same thing there. So it shouldn't look like just the eyeliner that stops there. It almost should look like the color is going to come from here and end there. And again, this you do all the way. And if you need to deepen that, because remember we started with a brown first to deepen. If you need to deepen first, you can, and then go in with a plum afterwards. Okay. Can everyone see the color that's slightly wider now? Are you happy, Leanne? Okay. Okay. Anything else that I need to show someone? Any questions that you have on this specific look, the plum smoky eye? Everyone happy? Okay. Marina,
Oh, yeah, Brenda.
over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Just a reminder, the photos to be submitted by 5 o'clock. I'll quickly put it all through on my number again. And then we'll announce the winner on the Kia Facebook page.
Yes.
Looking forward to seeing all your photos, ladies. Have a great afternoon and see you next week again.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.